Hello and welcome to the Kudos Global Conference 3. We're coming to you live from India, Africa, and the United States, and we will soon be bringing on board some of our team members. And you're welcome to join the StreamYard. If you are watching on the LinkedIn, you'll see the StreamYard link in the event, and you'll see it in the comments. So, what is this conference? What is this all about? We did a couple of conferences so far. The first one was in Delhi, in India, and that one was a number of speakers, friends of ours, of Kudos's, and we basically wanted to give those people a spotlight for them to be able to see what we do, to talk about what they do, to let people know around the world that Kudos is here and we are able to do things because we are the miracle. Basically, everybody, we wanted to give people a platform to talk about their insights, their knowledge, their expertise, their experiences of life, and to be able to share with other people their viewpoint, to tell their truth, to talk about the big issues. And today, as well as Kudos Global Conference 2, we're talking about homelessness and community. Kudos Global Conference 2 was held in Las Vegas back in June of this year. And it actually saw some difficulties for myself personally, as well as some members of the team. And I was actually in real fear for being homeless myself in Las Vegas. We managed to overcome that problem amongst other issues that we had. But due to that and some illness and some unforeseen circumstances, we weren't able to deliver both parts of our Kudos Global Conference 2. So we decided to push our timescale forwards a little bit and bring Kudos Global Conference 3, a virtual event with some speakers from all over the world, and you'll see them soon, joining us on video to talk about their experiences, their lives, their expertise, their viewpoints, and their truth. And I'll be joined by the team, and if other people want to join the StreamYard, feel free to use that link that is in the event on LinkedIn. You'll be able to come along and take part in the show. For now, though, I'm going to introduce the team. They'll quickly say hello, and then we'll get on with our first video. So, joining us from the United States of America, from Las Vegas itself, here is our wonderful CMO, Melissa. Hi, Melissa.
Hi, can you all hear me?
We certainly can.
Awesome. So I just want to say thank you so much for having me and having this event. I feel it is so important that this demographic of people are recognized and that they're given a voice and a platform so, we can come together and have this conference and make real, actionable, tactical solutions to resolving this. And I'm excited. I'm grateful to be here. I'm excited to hear everything everyone has to say, their experiences, and I know my experiences, one thing that always sticks out to me is, as comfortable as we may be, we're all, one step away from being part of the unhoused community. So I think it's important to keep it in the front of our minds that, and what would we want, and what would we need, and what would we like to have in place if that were to ever happen. I think that's a good platform to start from, which is kind of what we're doing here, to resolve this. And I think, Matt, specifically your ideas and what you have planned with the housing, the Kudos Housing Globe and everything is great, and it's a hand up, not a handout, and it's perpetual. So I'm really excited to hear everything everyone else has to say. So thank you so much. I'm excited again, and I'll hand it back to you, Matt. Thank you.
Thank you. So that's Melissa, our CMO, our marketing expert, our marketing guru, live from Las Vegas. We've got some other team members joining us today as well. So I'll introduce one of the others in just a moment. I did want to share a little bit about our conversations today. These are our personal viewpoints, our truths, our experiences of life, and we wanted to share those with people. We're a team, we work together. Not all of the team is here this evening, but we are here and we're sharing our truth with you, as well as these videos from people around the world. So I mentioned that our first global conference was live from Delhi. We had the two wonderful COOs of Kudos there with us. The first one of which is going to step up in just a moment, and she's going to introduce the first video. And her name is Dr. Supriya. Welcome, Supriya.
A very welcome and a lovely greetings to everyone who is watching us live. KGC3, the most awaited one. And as you know that we all are fighting for a global cause, that is a global homelessness. We all know the importance of having a great home, a house where we peacefully live, happy, and the work which we are doing, Kudos Miracles, Kudos KGC3 is here with lot of eminent personalities, eminent speakers across the globe. So you're going to have a very great time with great, insightful, miraculous matter, and you can have a wonderful time with everyone. So I'm so excited and so thrilled to be with you all and what to say about KGC3. So let's gear up, let's start it up, and let's move on to the very important topic and the very, the demand of the time, global homelessness. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, Supriya. So would you like to introduce our first guest and their video? And just briefly, because each video has its own introduction, of course.
Sure. So my first, a great personality from Philippines is going to arrive in front of you. And if I talk about this great personality, that is Raymond Banzilla, who is from Philippines, and he's doing wonderful work in his career, in his speaking arrangements, and also heading towards the writing. So let's hear to Raymond Banzilla from Philippines, and let's give an ear to hear him what actually his opinions, insightful judgments about the topic homelessness. Hi, here is the video by Dr. Raymond Benzuela from Philippines, reflecting on homelessness, a problem which cannot be overlooked locally and globally. So let's create miracles and change the world. Here comes the video.
Good day, everyone. Today, I want to talk about a pressing issue that affects millions of people around the world. Homelessness, while it is a problem that is often overlooked or ignored, it is a reality for many individuals and families, both locally and globally. In the Philippines, the issues of homelessness is a growing concern with an estimated 4.5 million Filipinos living without a permanent shelter. Homelessness is not just about not having a roof over one's head. It is a complex issue that is often rooted in poverty, lack of access to affordable housing, mental health challenges, and systematic inequalities. In order to truly address and end homelessness, we need to look at the root causes and implement real, sustainable solutions. One of the key solutions to ending homelessness is providing access to safe, affordable housing for all. This includes building more social housing units, implementing rents controls, and addressing the lack of affordable housing options in urban areas. In the Philippines, the government has initiated various housing programs such as the Social Housing Finance Corporation and the National Housing Authority, but more needs to be done to ensure that every Filipino has a place to call home. Another important aspect of ending homelessness is providing support services for those at risk of or experiencing homelessness. This includes mental health services, substance abuse treatment, job training programs, and access to education. By addressing the underlying issues that contribute to homelessness, we can help individuals and families break the cycle of poverty and homelessness. Additionally, we need to address the stigma and discrimination that homelessness individuals face on a daily basis. Homelessness is often viewed as a personal failure, when in reality, it is a systematic issue that requires a collective response. By raising awareness and advocating for the rights of homeless individuals, we can create a more inclusive and supportive society for everyone. In conclusion, ending homelessness is a complex but achievable goal. By implementing real solutions such as providing access to affordable housing, support services, and addressing systematic inequalities, we can create a future where everyone has a place to call home. It is up to each and every one of us to take action and make a difference in the lives of our fellow Filipinos. Together, we can end homelessness in the Philippines and around the world. Once again, good day, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. I would like to appreciate Kudos Global Conference for this opportunity. I'm Professor Raymond Banzuela from the Philippines. Thank you very much.
So, as you can see, our first guest there from the Philippines. And you can tell that the Philippines is potentially a country that you live in or a country far away. Much the same as I'm here in Africa, Supriya is in India, Melissa in the USA, and many other people all around the world. We all recognize the fact that homelessness is actually a problem everywhere in the world. Sure, there are a few countries that are solving this problem for their communities, but majoritarily this problem exists on a vast scale. Hundreds and millions of people. And those people are people just like you and I. They are people with feelings, people with families, people with experience of life that have loved, lost, lived their lives, maybe contributed even more to society than people like you or I. And yet those people all around the world are living without shelter, in homes or without homes whatsoever, unhoused. They may have some facility that they can use that helps them for some short period of time. They may have some local charity or NGO that helps them and solves some of their immediate problems. But their big problem, being unhoused, that problem is not solved. If it was solved, that would not be on the growing scale. That would not be ever increasing in vast numbers of hundreds of millions of people all around our globe. People in communities that really wish that those people had a home to live in. that they weren't living on the streets. And like Melissa said, we are all standing in a position where we can potentially be the next person who is unhoused. I mentioned once about my experience in Las Vegas, even just recently on my trip to Africa. There's a possibility that I would become homeless because I basically was deferred on my flight. It was disrupted and they delayed it by a number of weeks, not hours, not days, weeks, because of trouble in the world, because of a problem in the economy here in Africa where I am. And that could very easily have ended up with me living on the streets or even worse. This is something that can affect any one of us at any given time, no matter how safe and secure we think we might be. We're only one step away from being unhoused, especially the way that the world is currently. So, I'm going to share our next video. This is from a friend of mine from the USA again. This is Dr. Terence. Dr. Terence is going to share with us about something interesting from his viewpoint. Like I say, it's everybody's truth. So bear with me for a second, and I will share with you the video of Dr. T. Here is another wonderful friend of Kudos, the amazing Dr. Terence Zebedee Johnson. He's here to talk to you about what is your tent. Sounds interesting, huh? Take a watch. Maybe you'll learn something. Enjoy. Dr. T, take it away.
Hello, my name is Terence Zebedee Johnson, and I'm honored to be a part of the Kudos Global Conference. Today, I will be talking about what is your tent. So, for me, I'm big on visuals, and not only visuals, but story. And so, for me, in 2020, I found myself in transition. Um, I had my car packed up. I drove from Mississippi to Tennessee and didn't really know what was next for me. Um, all I knew I needed a change. The things I had been doing before didn't really fit me or feel fulfilling to me. And so I found myself, crashing on people's couches, um, kind of being in and out of hotels for a while. And for me, it was a real low point in my life because I went from a year before being in a faculty position, teaching that I had been doing for a while, and I decided to leave that. And I found myself not knowing what the next day was going to bring. So, this image of a tent comes from this memory of this time. And I remember I was leaving out the hotel I was staying in, and this was during COVID time. So, this mask and everything else, being afraid of everything. And I just remember it was just a rough day for me. And I was driving, and as I was driving to go get something to eat, I think to the right of me, it was this tent. And what it made me think about was the person. Who was the person that was in the tent? And for me, it really made me think more about my own life and how I was thinking that it was the end of the world and all of that. And I just reflected on the person because I saw the tent, but I couldn't see them. And so my mind went to, are they okay? Um, Not only just how they got there, but it's like I'm complaining about my situation, what's going on with me, but I'm not out on the street. I'm not out in the element. Um, I have a lot more than what I think, but it's because I'm comparing my life with a different phase of my life, and I'm not really being appreciative of what I already have. And sometimes we can get like that. And so in the with the tent, you see it's it's a book bag, you see it's kind of clothes out there. And so it's reminiscent of not just how we see, maybe homeless people, but our situations in life. Our situation not really all that put together, especially not as put together we would like them to be. But we all have times of struggle, times of not knowing what to do next. But it also shows us that we're not so different than other people. So everyone deserves grace in their imperfections. So I know I have my imperfection. You have your imperfection. But we have to have grace for people because if we don't have grace for people, then we think we're above other people just because the situation might be different. And just because I'm good right now doesn't mean that I'll be good tomorrow and vice versa. So the people that we encounter, the people that come across our path, they're all on journeys too. And so having a little grace for them um, not only humanizes them, but also sometimes you have to give grace for yourself for the things that you may not have done right or correctly. Life has a way of humbling us. So for me, like I was saying before, I was in a position in life where everybody looked to me. Um, I always thought I had an answer, and I was in a point in my life where I didn't have any of that. I was uncertain. I was unsure. My confidence was shaking. All of those things were going on. I was still trying to just make it through the day, but those moments are good for us. Um, because I think it opens us up to relate to more people. Because if everything goes right for you in your life, then you have this expectation and a certain arrogance about yourself too, where it your ego gets fed more and more and more. But those of us who have gone through some things in life, um, we realize that you can be up today and down tomorrow, um, and you won't always win. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because that's where the lesson comes. So life sometimes has to humble us for us to be prepared for the next step. And we might not know what the next step is, and we might not know why we're going through the situation we're going through right now. But it's a purpose in sometimes our pain and our struggle. And it might not mean that that situation needs to change quickly, because if it changes too quickly, we might not get the lesson that we're supposed to get in this season of our life. So um, I've learned that each step and each phase of life has a different um, kind of pace and also a different perspective. And I think you have to keep constantly shifting your perspective in life to see more of the opportunities and not just for progress, but also growth. And so some of the things that you might not enjoy right now might be growth for you, but it might not feel good. I don't walk in their shoes. For me, this was something that hit me just with this memory because I can't say that out of all the things I've gone through in life, I've ever been in a tent on the side of a road. Now I've been in situations where I've stayed in hotels, stayed with family members, all those things over my life, but I can't say I have this experience. And so because of that, it's not me to judge how.
My apologies, everybody. We seem to have had a slight technical difficulty with Dr. T's video. I will try and resurrect that and play the remainder of that in the next couple of video sections. Supriya, any thoughts about what Dr. T was sharing with us? You
But
are
Matt,
muted,
one
by the
thing
way.
I must say about Dr. Terence, the way he started with a tent and with a great idea, that was really awesome. And yeah, I do believe his great lines. Everybody deserve a humbleness. Everybody deserve a home, and everybody deserve what they deserve. So that was mind blowing. But the starting was marvelous, Dr. Terence. If you're hearing us and if you're watching us live, really, you nailed it, and a mind blowing topic. You really started. Well, Matt, let's start because we are getting a lot of blessings in the form of comments, lovely comments of Atul Roy, and so many great eminent personalities across the globe. So let's go with the next speaker and give our ear to hear what they say about this global homelessness. Yes.
Thank you, Supriya. So anybody who's watching who's familiar with my work will know that we generally have some technical difficulties. The world is filled with problems, and it's about finding solutions. And that really is a demonstration of what we're doing this evening by taking another go at doing the virtual event that we hosted, or at least aimed to host, at our Kudos Global Conference #2. So here we are on #3. So this is a slight technical difficulty, but we aim to go on without any further ones, and hopefully that will happen. If it does, just bear with us. We've got a number of videos, wonderful speakers from around the world, like I say. Next up is a dear friend of mine. And at my birthday party a couple of days ago, this dear friend, he came along just for a moment. He popped in just to wave his hand and say hello at our Matt Allen 50th birthday celebration. And at the birthday party, I did what I'm going to do now, which is to ask anybody who really has some degree of faith or hope in some God or the God that you believe in, or just in the universe, or the ability of our belief to make a change in people's lives, and to help to make the world a better place. My friend Russ Hedge has some health difficulties and has had for some time. And I'm sure he's known to a number of people who are watching currently. Russ is finding life a little bit difficult at the moment because he's come down with a spread of his cancer amongst his body. And we really need to support him and wish him well and do all that we can in our power to help make a miracle happen for a true miracle of a man that is Russ Hedge. He's a dear friend of mine and a wonderful gentleman. I've been on a few of his shows, and I want to and believe I will be on many more. Russ, here is your video. Little brief explanation from me, but get well soon, my friend. Get well soon. And of course, we extend that to anybody else out there who is suffering from any illness. The world is full of difficulties and problems, like I said. And the solution to our health problems is to realize that we are the solution and that people can really make a difference. Those that should be able to heal us and make us better, most of them are just interested in our money and exploiting us for that. We're here to change that, and we're going to change that because we're going to change the world and make it a better place for people like Russ and many others. There's no reason why anybody should be homeless. There is no reason why anybody should be sick. Sure, things happen and there is illness in our world, but we need to think about the solutions rather than dwelling on the problems and letting people like our dear friend Russ be exploited by them. Please welcome Russ. Video from a wonderful friend of mine, Russ Hedge. Wonderful guy, amazing attitude to life, just a phenomenal friend who's inspired me in many ways, even to get to this point. Russ is here to talk us about community, because this is what we're about. Community, both local and global, about people, about caring, about love, support, and making miracles happen. Here's a miracle of his own. Here's Russ Hedge.
Hey everyone, my name is Russ Hedge, and I am blessed and honored to be part of the Kudos Global Conference today. And you know what? My friend Matt Allen is doing amazing things, and I'm so blessed to be able to be part of this, speak to you today. Again, my name is Russ Hedge. I am an inspirational keynote speaker. I'm also a marketing coach and a live stream producer. I do so much with people, and I love the opportunities I get to speak to you and people all around the world. And today, I want to really talk about a topic that I think goes right hand in hand with what Matt Allen and Kudos is all about, and that is community building with a cause. That's what we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to really cover 4 points today, and that is passion, purpose, perspective, and people. And these 4 factors are what helps us come together, collaborate, and make the world a better place, do amazing things together. You know, we rise together. We are able to do amazing things together because I'm a true believer we are better together. That is right. We're better together. So we have come together on this day to just celebrate the opportunity to work together against homelessness, against causes that are hurting us around the world, and make it a better place through our actions and doing positive things. So I'm just so excited to be part of this. You know, first thing we're going to talk about is passion. You know, I think this is how Matt really started off with all he is doing, because he is passionate about what he does, passionate about the causes he believes in. And today I want to tell you that your passion is what moves you, what drives you. Your passion will actually drive you to your purpose. It will. And I love that quote that T.D. Jakes says, and that is, if you're having trouble finding purpose in life, follow your passions, because your passion will drive you to your purpose. You're right. And so passion and purpose just basically drive our lives and the way we live. And so I'm so thankful that we can come together and work together to make the world a better place. So passion is so important in all that you do. And then purpose. So life without purpose is really living life by accident. You need to live your life with purpose and with intention. Why do you get up every day? What is the reason that you live this life? I don't know. Only you can answer that. But you know what? God has a purpose for your life, and I truly believe that. And today I want to encourage you to really write down and really define your purpose in life. Why is that important? Because you cannot implement a purpose you cannot define. You have to be able to define it. And, I found that writing things down really helps me. In fact, I'm a big journaler every morning. Years ago, I wasn't, but, in the last 15, 20 years, I've become a really big journaler. I love to journal my thoughts. I love to journal down inspiration in the morning, and God inspires me every morning. And all of you amazing people around the world inspire me every day to be a better person. I think that's a big thing of how we rise together. A lot of times is lifting each other, because we lift each other up. We can build each other up. We can make things happen through collaboration and positive action. And that's what I love. What Kudos is all about, positive action, right? Don't just talk about it. Let's make things happen. Make things happen, right? Okay. All right. So we're going to move on to perspective. This is a huge one. I could talk on perspective all day long. The way you look at life, the perspective you have influences everything you do and all the actions you take. You need to keep a positive perspective, even through the tough times, even through the negative times. And sometimes that's really hard. I know this. I have been through a cancer battle in the last couple of years. Out of that cancer battle, I became a type 1 diabetic, and I've had digestive issues, and I've had vision and hearing issues, multiple surgeries and things that I've had to go through. But you know what? The blessing is that the cancer is gone. God healed me of that through amazing doctors. And there's so many positive things that have come out of that. Me being able to reach out, inspire, and encourage people that are going through struggles. And that's pretty much everybody. We're all going through something, whether you have cancer, whether you have health issues, or whether you are just dealing with life issues. Life issues can be tough sometimes. So I love the fact that it's opened up a whole door for me to inspire and encourage more people like you, that you can live a better life. I wrote the book behind me, Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose. There is no need to live your life befuddled. You can choose life. And a lot of people will say to me, well, I can't really choose what happens to me. Well, you're exactly right. You can't. But you know what? You can choose where you go from there. Life happens and then you choose. That's actually my follow-up book to that. Life happens and then you choose. You choose where you go from there. You choose the mindset and the perspective you have based on things that happen to us. I love the quote by Chuck Swindoll that says, life is 10% of what happens to us and 90% of how we react to it. A lot of it is how we're reacting and what we're choosing. Are we taking a positive step? Are we moving in a positive direction? So perspective is so important. If you have a negative perspective, it's going to pull you down. If you have a positive perspective, it's going to lift you up. And that is crucial. Finally, people, and here we are, people, that's all of us together. It's coming together, just like I talk about, helping each other, lifting each other, being better together, like I said, collaborating on amazing issues like we're talking about today, whether it's homelessness, whether it is other problems around the world. When we come together and take positive action, it's amazing the things we can do. So I think what's so important too when it comes to people is daily make it a habit of connecting and building community. So back to what I said right off the bat, community building with a cause. How do we build community? Well, pretty simple. We connect with people and we continue to connect with them. Connection is really not just contacting them, but hanging in there. Matt Allen and I have developed an amazing friendship. We continue to talk. We continue to grow. We continue to do things together. That is true connection, where we're really doing life together. We're not just saying, hi, have a good life, and off you go. No, we are truly connecting and finding ways to make things better. I've been blessed through all the live streaming that I do to be able to push out a positive message to the world. And Matt has been on several of those and been able to be part of that. And, I encourage any of you, go to russhedge.com. You can find out all about me and the live streams and the messages I'm putting out, the speaking I'm doing. Love to. I've been able to speak around the world virtually, looking at reaching out and actually going in person all around the world and speaking the positive message. And today I just want to recap what I was talking about. And that is, we've been talking about building community with a cause. And how do we do that? With passion, with purpose, having a good perspective, and working with people. When we come together with those four things, really the sky is the limit. And today I want to leave you with a couple things just as encouragements. I don't know where you are in life. You may be struggling. You may be thinking, I really want to do something with my life. I want to find purpose and really reach out and help Matt make great things through Kudos. Well, today, the only way that's going to happen is to start. Take that first little baby step. Little steps become big steps. And you move forward. You keep moving on. You keep making amazing progress little by little. And that is how great things happen. That is how we build and grow, and we do it together. So collaborate with the people around you that are like-minded. Yes, we all have different ideas, and that's good, but people that are moving in a positive direction, doing positive things. And I can tell you today that is going to be the way that you are going to really accomplish so much in this life. So don't forget, you go to russhedge.com for more information on me. And I'm so thankful to have been here today. Thanks, everybody. Have a blessed and amazing day. All right. See ya.
Russ, what to say? You have nailed it, and mind blowing when you said about life without a purpose is just like a wandering soul. And yes, your goal will make you keep going in any adverse situations. And when you said about the positive perspectives, oh my gosh, you really awaken thousands of souls who are watching us live. And that says making community with the people, make people awareness, and building community can only be happen when you will be positive, positive, positive. What says Matt? What is your opinion about Russ? It was mind blowing.
Yeah, I completely agree. Russ is one of those phenomenal people that I just came across, and I didn't appreciate just how wonderful he was because I'm fairly new to the platform, which at the time was LinkedIn. And I came across him, and I got introduced to him by a friend of ours called Dr. Nupi. And I came across him just as Christmas was getting into full swing. And I spoke to Russ for literally the space of 10, 15 minutes. And I showed him my Christmas tree. And Russ said to me, "You've got to come on my show immediately. We are actually going live 5 minutes after we finish our chat." And I went on Russ's show and talked to everybody about the Christmas tree, and what that represents for people, to the sense that the Christmas tree is really what Christmas used to be about. Christmas used to be about people, everybody having a great time, having enough money and enough resource to be able to celebrate and have Christmas tree presents at the bottom of the tree, and just for the whole tree to really operate well and for everybody to have a great time at Christmas and celebrate the things that are important to us. And that Christmas tree a number of years ago changed into a crisismas tree, in the sense that there are many people, unhoused people, unwell people, people who can't afford energy in their homes, people who have healthcare that doesn't care about them, children who go through education who come out uneducated and unable to do what they want to do, what they love to do, people who really just struggle with life. And that's because of the way that that Christmas tree has changed into a crisismas tree. Because Christmas, for the last couple of years, and probably this year coming, has not been about all of us. It's just been about the few people at the top of the Christmas tree, the crisismas tree. Because the crisis is that the presents and the resources and all of the things that should help us all are no longer at the bottom of the Christmas tree where we all are, but they're at the top of the crisismas tree with just a few elite and rich and powerful people. Except they're not really powerful. They might think that they are. They might think that they're safe in their 21-bedroom houses. I don't know about you, Supriya, but I can only sleep in one bed. I can't sleep in 21.
Right.
And I'm sure those people, they haven't got 21 friends to invite around to sleep in their other bedrooms. I think that's important for us to realize as we approach Christmas. And sure, it seems like still a little distance off, but it's only 3 and a bit months away. And really, we need to appreciate the fact that we need to make Christmas back into Christmas for all of us, for all time. Russ is one of my older friends, and not just in the sense of he's older than me, but he's older friends in the sense of I've known him for one of the longest people that I've known here on LinkedIn. One of the more recent friends that I've come across is a wonderful chap. Perhaps, Supriya, you want to just briefly introduce Kevin, and then we'll run Kevin's video.
Yes, and Matt, what to say when you told about the homelessness to Russ? Now, ladies and gentlemen, another eminent, vibrant personality from France. And really, I appreciate that great personality, not because he's a great host, because he really bring out the soul, he really bring out the energy, he really bring out the vibrant colors. None other than Kevin Morio. Kevin Morio is a podcast host, he's an international speaker, and above all, he's a great personality. So Matt, why delay? People are so much awaiting for listening, Kevin, and even me too. So let's go with the flow.
Here's our next video, a wonderful friend of the Latte Show. He's been on there. Wonderful friend of mine. I've been on his show. I've been on quite a few people's shows now. Perhaps you'd like to have me on your show. Anyway, here's Kevin Moreau, Mr. Mingle himself. He's talking about big community. He's talking about friendship, love, and support, much as everybody does. It's interesting, isn't it? We're all interested in community, people, friendship, love, benefiting everybody, making the world a better place. Talking of that, here's my good friend, Kevin Moreau. Take it away, Kevin.
Hello and welcome to this quick presentation. As you can hear, my voice is not quite there yet. I've been sick for the past week, but I'm so very happy to share this with you. So you should know by now, Kudos Miracles is all about community, is all about working together, creating a better world all together. And I would love to share my own take on community on actually a larger scale. So please allow me to share my screen. I love my slides. You'll see if you know me already, you know that. If you don't know me yet, well, this is the opportunity to get to know each other. So as my screen, is loading. Now you should see it by now, my friend Mumi. So hey, so nice meeting you, and let's joyfully dive in. So you might not know me yet, and you might be like, hey, with that guy, should we call the cops? Hopefully not. So let me give you just a few details. So I'm Kevin Moreau from France. I go by the name of Mr. Mingle online. So I'm a misfit uplifter. I'm a social catalyst, a coach and teacher and trainer by trade. But my more personal and my more fun side is I'm a geek, proud nerd, what I call a chimera, which is my own way to describe my multi-passionate people, which all comes from neurodivergency. I'm neurodiverse, and maybe some of you might be one of us having ADHD, autism, bipolarity, anything that doesn't go into the norm, quote unquote, of having your brain functioning. So it gives flavor to me. Being neurodivergent is actually bringing more flavor to the dinner. But you do you choose how you stand on that. But now let's get on topic. I'd like to present to you the way I see social relationships as a whole. And at the bottom, you see actually it's our relationship with ourselves. I believe that our most important relationship ever actually is relationship with us, with ourselves. So relationship of one, and how we can be our best friend forever, how we can be on our side always, every time we can. And yeah, much easier said than done. I know, I've been there. It took me quite some time to get there, to have a healthy relationship with myself. Then we have relationship with our friends and family and loved ones, our close ones. That would be the middle ground. And this one is extremely important to me as well. I believe it's one of the most powerful ways to live a thriving, delicious, fun, happy life, to really get this one right for us. And finally, it would be like what most people call networking. And usually it's of the utmost interest of entrepreneurs. Maybe you are an entrepreneur as well. And it will be your connections, people you don't know that well, you might not see as loved ones, but they are extremely important as well. Some people call them weak ties, compared to the strong ties of the friends. Actually, weak ties are not weak at all. They are extremely powerful as well. And to me, a good, healthy, thriving social life means you have all three layers nailed down. You're doing a great job at nurturing and making sure all these layers, yourself, your friends, your connections, are well, are healthy, are nurtured daily or at least weekly, and you are really putting some effort, some investment, some time and energy to make sure all those three layers are well. Now, if you go the extra mile, you go into what I call social alchemy. And it's when you create powerful bridges between all layers. And believe me, it's incredibly powerful when you start playing with social alchemy. And to give you an example, to me, It's a little bit like having your ingredients, your flour, your eggs, your butter, your sugar, which all by themselves are already really, really great. And that would be having a healthy social life. You have all your ingredients sorted. They are all good, premium quality, great stuff. Now, if you combine them properly, and if you bake them, or if you put some magic, maybe you put them in the freezer, in a pan, on an oven, then boom, voila. Out of these ingredients, you create a delicious cake. So that's my take around social alchemy. But this presentation, short presentation, is not about social alchemy per se. I just wanted to introduce you to this very important topic to me. And I will go very fast. The idea of social alchemy is really to unlock all of these wonders to you, to bring some joy, impact, growth, support, authenticity, and wealth inside of your life, in your personal life, in your friend life, in your connection life. And so the others benefit from that, and you as well in return benefit from it as well, and create beautiful synergy between all these different elements. Now, between the layer of yourself and friends, there is a very important circle connection point, which I call ikigais. And these are your absolute best friends. It would be like your inner circle, the top of the cream of the crop, the people that you really most can rely on, and the people that are bringing the most goodness into your life. And they probably should be around 5 at all times, give or take. They might be a little over if you're really good at that. They probably won't ever go beyond 10. It's very difficult to keep a healthy ikigai circle. You might know that very famous line from Jim Rohn, we are the sum of the 5 people we hang out the most with. So those would be the ikigais. Those would be the people that bring the very best on your table and allow you to be the very best of yourself, to unlock your very best powers. You absolutely want to find your own ikigais. You absolutely want to find the people that allow you to step up big time. And just so you know, you should be one of your own ikigais. You should be on your own, in your own corner at all times. If it's not the case, I invite you to revise that. I invite you to really make sure you are one of your very best friends ever. No, Kudos is all about community. And the idea is to be somewhere between your friends and your connection and create a powerful community spirit. Surround yourself with a powerful community unlocks so much goodness in your life. It allows you to bring new people, fresh blood in your life, to extend yourself, to extend your possibilities through your connections, to be able to reach out in the world, to go beyond, and to be able to reach people you never thought it would be possible to ever reach. It allows you to bring new data, new information, new skills into your life. And actually, if you're looking for a job or if you're looking for clients, actually, more often than not, they won't come from your friends. They will come from your connections. So statistically, your connections are stronger to help you get the best out of a future work gig or get new clients into your business. So you absolutely want to have strong connections and also having a powerful support system of friends, or even better, a thriving system of friends. And if you have a powerful community around you, like Kudos Miracles that Matt Allen created, you have a head start in this race, so to speak, because you will be able to have new powerful connections and new beautiful friends if you allow it, if you're open to it. So this was my share, kind of different take on community and getting this spirit of community into a broader scale, into a broader way to look at social relationships. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I was still audible despite my voice. I wish you to enjoy a wonderful, wonderful conference with Matt and his friends, many friends at Kudos, and enjoy a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Mr. Mingle Kevin Mario, wow, what a way you presented in the form of your PowerPoint presentation and the way you said about your ingredients, your cake. Definitely, you kept a cherry on your cake, and that says about your ikigai, jigsaw, that is joy, impact, growth, support, authenticity, and well, yes, I do agree. And with this great thought, we keep on moving. And really, I appreciate the way you have showcased a wonderful presentation about homelessness, how we can move forward, and how we can have all the things, all the qualities, all the leveraging qualities of the life and be in the flow. What says, Matt? Didn't you enjoy his presentation? I was like mesmerized and spellbound. I was listening to him. What says?
Yeah, most definitely. Kevin is a very experienced speaker. Like I indicated at the beginning of that video, I've been on his podcast and he's been on mine. Well, yours, Supriya, more so than mine. We have this wonderful experience amongst the number of people that we've had on the Latte Show. The Latte Show is our way to reach out to the world and share the miraculous journeys of different people from all around the world, from different walks of life, from education to big business to investors to people from small countries living amazing lives and doing wonderful things in their local communities, and people who've changed the experiences of difficulties and tragedy in their life to really change the world and make the world a better place for other people. You know, sometimes adversity is not a bad thing. I don't mean that in a flippant way. I mean in the sense that majority of the people who've made the biggest impact in our worlds, they have been people that have been through difficulties and have understood the problems of people. You look at many of the inventions that are available for us to use today, and they come from disabled people, majoritarily, people who've experienced a problem and come up with a solution to solve that problem. Sometimes adversity, if we're going to look at it as a beneficial thing, can really make change in the world. And I see the adversity that is homelessness at the moment, unhoused people all around the world, an opportunity for them to be welcomed back into society, to have us help them, support them, and then to help them build a community and give them jobs and help them to escalate themselves into a much better existence, much better than existed before, with other facilities that other people just can't imagine. Things even like true democracy or being able to help bring world peace about, and the energy systems that actually are affordable and easy to use, education that helps them to fulfill their job, but also to do the things that they love. Many things that bring us together as a community as things that we all want and desire. You can call that in economic terms demand. And the supply is through an organization called Kudos. And we offer a solution that is truly going to solve homelessness for unhoused people all the world over. If you want to learn more about what we are proposing to do, whether you're wanting to help solve that problem, whether you want to help to spread the word, whether you want to make an investment into possibly the most amazing opportunity that you could ever imagine, to not only change the world, but benefit all people, from those that really it would change from not having a roof over their heads to being employed and potentially being able to own their own property. But if you think beyond that as an investor into a business structure, that means that everybody benefits, that we provide exactly what people want. And that desire is for change, real change, that benefits us all, that brings Christmas tree presents back to the Christmas tree bottom, where we all exist, where the money is. You think about that as an investor and what that opportunity truly means for you, not only to make some money and help other people to benefit, but to really be able to change the world. So one of my good friends that's helping me to get to a point where Kudos is inevitable to happen is a gentleman called Jose. Jose has a very interesting story to share. And one of our peripheral team members is going to introduce Jose. She's a wonderful lady called Rejoice. I call her Rejoice the Miracle. She couldn't share video, but she shared her image and some voiceover with some wonderful music. Here's Jose. Enjoy.
Of US and Venezuela, who spent 35 years in the oil and gas industry. But in 2017, what was supposed to be a regular business trip took a shocking turn. Jose was found in this political standoff and he was held hostage for 5 years. Today he's here to share a story of how he's turned that very sad, unfortunate experience into something beautiful, how he's turned that experience into a mission for freedom and resilience, and how he's been helping others rebuild their lives. This is a story you don't want to miss. It embodies the vision of Kudos Miracles, people being the solution and becoming the miracles themselves. Let's hear from Jose.
Hello, my name is Jose Pereira. I'm Venezuelan-born dual citizen. I grew up between Venezuela and the U.S. because I came here to the U.S. when I was like 5 years. We lived in Tulsa. Then I moved back to Venezuela when I was 12. I lived in an oil field camp during the American oil and gas companies that were handling the production of oil in Venezuela. So I grew up in the Gulf oil camp. That's typically an American camp. I did my career in the oil and gas. I studied in Venezuela, but I did my MBA here in the US, in the Florida University. And I began my career when I was a young kid in the oil and gas when I was 21. And finally, I did a 35 years career in the oil and gas. So basically my career, all my life was in oil and gas. I was married. I had 38 years married. I had 3 grown-up kids. 2 of them are married, and I had 3 grandsons. And my story, it came because after my wonderful career in the oil and gas, suddenly in 2017, I went through an unfortunate event that I was called ready to get retired after 35 years to a last-minute call during Thanksgiving. I flew back to Venezuela to that business trip, and it became to be a settlement due to the problems that the U.S. government, by that time there was Trump administration, was having with the Maduro regime in Venezuela. And those guys got me as hostage to begin to negotiate the relief of sanctions that the country was having, because we were 6 guys, that we were dual citizens, all of them, and we became the political pawns of the relation between Venezuela and the U.S. And those negotiations put us in the high geopolitical thing between the two countries, and my hostage situation lasted 5 years, and we became like a brand to the press, because the press baptized us with a name. We became to be that Citgo 6. I'm a former member of that Citgo 6. The Citgo 6, we were caught in the middle of this battle between the two countries. They finalized it when Biden, that is currently in office, did a soft, quiet negotiation, diplomatic negotiation, and we came back in October 1st, 2022, after a negotiation of a prisoner swap with the two nephews of the Venezuelan president. So I came back because of that. When I came back, I was thinking if I wanted to go back to the oil and gas, but for me it was very traumatic, all this situation. So I decided to pivot my career, and today I became a leadership and resilience coach, because I decided to use my experience of my leadership field during 35 years, handling several multicultural joint ventures with multinational companies. And that leadership skills I combined with the resilience skills that I developed being a survivor of my 5-year hostage situation. And I became a leadership and resilience coach. And today I do public speaking related to that. How you can embrace the resilience in a speech called From Captivity to Freedom. I wrote my book that today I'm going to begin to promote, because it's going to be out very soon in the market, about my story and my legacy, on how you can overcome things in life through any adversity, because I'm a life testament that things can happen, because I'm here today talking with you. So if you're interested in my story and you want to have in your show, I can be an excellent asset to motivate your audience, how even in any situation in life you can overcome it. Thank you very much for having me here.
Jose Pereira, I do remember, Matt, when I hosted him on Latte Show, when I just met this person, I really appreciated his vigor, his strength. And when he narrated his life journey, Matt, you won't believe the unbreakable spirit, the resilience. And that's why he is a great resilience coach. And I salute his leadership and management qualities, which says everything to fit in a systematic and organized manner. And loved his lines when he said about firmness of mind and promptness of action leads to success. And your leadership qualities plays a very crucial role, very crucial point in sculpturing your personality that says, Jose Pereira, keep rocking. And let's move on with the flow. Yes, Matt, let's listen to you. What is your opinion?
Yeah, what a wonderful guy. Jose and I have talked a number of times, much like many other people. Jose just has this phenomenal story that is just a testament to how it is possible to overcome the worst of situations and turn those about into miraculous situations that help and benefit so many other people. And that's true for many of the friends that we have, from Kudos Latte Show through to Kudos Miracles, Kudos Core, even Democry. Some of the people that I've met and you've had on the show, just unbelievable stories of resilience and just the ability to look for so much better in life, and to realize that as they go through their life and make real change and want to make more change for other people. And that's spoken through the fact of the Latte Show and the fact that they want to come on and share their story with other people to inspire people. I think that it's just been absolutely phenomenal, the reaction and the number of guests that just want to be on the Latte Show and who approach us now rather than us reaching out our hand into the murky depths of will you be willing to come on our show? And instead, now we have a waiting list, maybe 3 months long almost. Exactly. In fact, very soon you're going to be taking a little break from the latte show. We just need to concentrate on a couple of other things that we're going to do here at Kudos. One of those things is education, particularly around soft skills and some very wonderful courses that we have coming up, maybe in a couple of the interesting places as well. We can talk about those in the future. So if everybody would like to follow Kudos Core, that's our subpage on LinkedIn. You can find that by going to Supriya or me or any of the other team members on their LinkedIn profiles and looking for Kudos Core, or just type in the search box Kudos Core and you'll see one of those globes and you'll know that's us. Those globes are very wonderful things, and they stand out much like this wonderful pinky purple one behind us, Supriya. So anyway, let's stop talking about us and talk about some more guests, because we still have quite a few videos to get through. And I think you'll agree, Supriya, because you've introduced a couple of these. They're just amazing videos of amazing people who've done amazing things or been through absolute tragedies in their lives. And the next video that I want to share with everybody is a gentleman that I met through a wonderful friend of mine called Maggie, who I owe so much to. She's a wonderful person who lives in Spain. And she introduces me to some of the most interesting people that I've met. Not all the most interesting, but some of them. And here is one of those. His name is Omar. I have shaken his hand actually in New York City when I was there back in June. And what a wonderful pleasure to meet a man that is truly defying death and changing people's lives. Here is a short video from Omar.
Hey everyone, before we dive into this inspiring and powerful story, let me set the stage a little. We all have moments in life that change us. Some are small, like a kind word from a friend, and some are so big they shake us to our core. Today we're about to hear a story that's a little bit of both. Imagine this: a single hug, a life forever altered, and an incredible journey from an unimaginable pain to building hope, resilience, and change on a global scale. That's what Omar's journey is all about, and it's truly one you don't want to miss. Omar's experience will challenge the way we think about life's what ifs and how we can turn even the darkest moments into something powerful and transformative. It's not just about survival. It's about finding new purpose, asking better questions, and creating a future filled with possibility. So sit back, grab your coffee, and get ready for an emotional, thought-provoking ride. Let's hear Omar's story.
"24 years ago, a hug from a stranger changed my life forever. I was playing backgammon with a friend in the West Bank in Israel. I was winning, kicking ass really, when someone surprised me and hugged me from behind. I thought it was a friend, someone I knew, someone who loved me. He whispered something in my ear and then detonated 15 pounds of explosives that were strapped to his body. I woke up for a moment, bleeding on the ground. I could see my bones sticking out, and I could feel the life slipping out of me. And then I lost my pulse and I died. I died. Somehow someone brought me back and got me into an ambulance. A month later, I woke up in a hospital where I spent almost a year recovering and trying to rehabilitate myself. The pain was incredible. I hope you never know this kind of pain. But that wasn't even the worst part. The worst part was not even in my body, burned and broken. It was in my mind. I could not imagine life to be good again. I simply couldn't imagine it. I was focused on everything that I lost. I was focused on my burns, my loss of hearing, on the fact that they wanted to amputate my arm, PTSD, depression. I focused on the person that I used to be and who I would never be again. I lost hope. I lost hope in myself, in my life, in everything. For years, as I struggled through this rehabilitation process, I eventually became someone new. From the outside, I may have looked successful, but every time that I succeeded in something, every time I was supposed to be happy, I thought, it's okay, but it's not where I wanted to be. It didn't matter if I made lots of money or got a solo show in New York City. It felt great, but I always thought, what if that day with the suicide bomber never happened? If I didn't go through 30 surgeries and lost over a year of my life laying in a hospital? Because I thought if I didn't go through this, life probably would have been very different. And in our mind, different is always better, right? So I thought, great. I raised millions for my company, but I could have raised more. I got a solo show in New York, but it's not MoMA. Why just a regular gallery, right? What if I didn't die that day? What if I was not so traumatized? What if I could have been who I was supposed to be? What if my beliefs were always pointing towards the negative? What I missed, what I lost in my belief world. If I'm going backwards, it's because I needed to find peace. I needed to find acceptance towards what I've missed out, opportunities that could never happen now. Like I loved Frank Zappa and I wanted to be a rock star like him. But because I got blown up, I can't play guitar anymore. And I'll never be a rock star. Though to be honest, I kind of sucked at guitar even before I got blown up. For me, what ifs were all about making peace with the past. And then one night I was talking to my 11-year-old daughter, Zoe Frank. She was 10 at the time, about this my what if idea. And her beautiful little brain and heart helped me understand what this project is really about. She said, Abba, Daddy, you're really building a simulation machine. You can show other people what their future could be like. What if I grow up to be a singer? Or what if I become a scientist? Or what if I become a CEO like you? Show me all that I can be, all that can make me happy, so I can choose for myself. I instantly understood. What we're building, what we're creating is a mental time travel machine that can show people their potential. It can show them hope for their future. It's a way to see a different perspective on the past and also envision a better future for ourselves. Tony Robbins, the huge life coach guy, he has some big wisdom around this. Tony says, if you want better outcomes, you need to ask better questions and look at them from different perspectives. So what if I didn't get blown up? I might have been a great musician, but still lived for 35 years in a fifth floor walk-up and never got recognition for the work I did. Like most musicians, right? What if I didn't go to the West Bank that day? I wouldn't get to meet my wife and have these amazing children that I have. There are many, many wonderful things in my life if I didn't play backgammon that day. Now my what ifs are all different. They face the future, possibility, hope, impact. What if I spent my resources, my life, my time in advancing my community? What if I dedicate my energy to helping 100 million people who suffer from the same disabling problems that I had? PTSD, trauma, depression, anxiety, and the list is long and so painful for so many. Asking what if challenges everything we think we know about ourselves and the world. It's my what if we challenge the notion that our past defines us, and we offer a platform where everyone can rewrite their narrative and become the hero of their own story. Everything in our lives, everything that goes into that biocomputer in our head, everything becomes a narrative. Spirituality is a narrative. Religion is a narrative. Traumatic memories are also a narrative. Having this voice in our head that tells us that we're not good enough, that we can't be as great as Elon Musk or Frank Zappa or Matt here, these are all stories. And narrative is kind of like a code in our mind. It's like a piece of Python code, like a computer code. Once we subscribe to that code and put it in our machine, that code controls the way that we see the world outside and the way that we see ourselves and our own abilities. It's that code that control our perceptions, that tell us that we cannot leave the house, that we cannot crawl out of bed. It's that code that tell us to react every time we hear a loud bang that triggers some flashback in our mind. Using what-if questions, AI, and personalized storytelling, we debug your personal narrative, your personal code. We can override it then with a better narrative, one which fills the gap when you feel that you're not enough, and you hear a different voice that tells you that you're more than enough. One that tells you how to find new purpose and regain agency, how to live a life of passion, of fulfillment and happiness. It's these kind of inspirational stories that gets us to be better people or to seek the best version of ourselves. Imagine it, then be it. When someone accepts themselves, accept their past, takes the steps into writing their new story, maybe they become a chef or a prompt writer or a musician. What if millions of people do this? Inspiration is a motivator to foster empathy, to foster a resilient society, to build a society that cares. What if individuals care more about just themselves? What if more people care to make an impact, to help each other, to create a better world? I think it would lead humanity to become a better place for our kids, for ourselves, for our families. It will be a place where we care about the planet. We care about each other because really that's all we've got. When we ask better questions, we get better results. What if we could transform people's lives one at a time? What if we could do it at scale? And what if we really, truly could change the world for the better? It's been 7 or 8 months since I first reached out to a few friends and invited them to join me in building my What If Foundation and together develop innovative, scalable, free mental health solutions. We've since grown to attract almost 200 volunteers, a community of what-ifers from all over the world committed to creating an impact on the global mental health crisis. There are not enough solutions. There can't be enough solutions or enough trauma experts. There are 3.5 billion people that suffer from trauma at least once in their life. Almost half the world, when the average government spends only 0.5% to 2% of their overall health budget on mental health. We need to stop deprioritizing our well-being, our feelings, our minds. We're lowering the barrier of entry. At My What If, our platform is free to the user. Anyone with a computer and internet connection can use it. It's private, HIPAA compliant, privacy compliant. There are no ads either. We're not
I think we suffered again a technical glitch, which is a part of a virtual platform, and that's absolutely fine. But I love the way when Omar talked about different perspective, and even he escalated about, told about, rented about Tony Robbins' beautiful message about realizing your gap, about different perspectives. How do you see your life? What if you see your gaps, and what if you are thinking to fill it up? And when I hosted Omar, a senior tech person, senior tech entrepreneur, and a very great artist, I couldn't believe that he will talk about these deep perspectives of life, of homelessness. So great kudos to Omar Golan and Matt. What is your opinion about Omar? I'm so mesmerized.
Yeah. Again, I've talked to Omar a number of times. We've shared some interesting conversations. I've helped him. He's helped me with various aspects of different things that we're doing. And really, what an amazing story to have come back from what must be ultimate traumatic experience, to be blown up, to be dead for a period of time. I've been close to death in various situations, but not in that sense. Mine are very medically related and not so sudden or abrupt or tragedious, to name a few things that I think very much determine that my experience has been very limited compared to Omar's very poignant experience of near-death experience rather. And it's amazing to see the life that flows through him. And having met him in New York, like I said earlier, to see the passion and the extreme willingness that he has to put everything on the line to help other people going through difficult situation that he's been through. An absolute guiding light of things that I do and experience for people in life. My hat really goes off to him and the work that he does in terms of my what if to help people through PTSD. And I myself have been through PTSD, as you know, my experience with my eyeball and difficulties with that. I sort of solved my own problem there, but other people have massive struggles with that. Just severe, difficult experiences that are hard to sum up into words, and really it's beyond my capabilities to explain that for other people. It's just an honor and a privilege, all of the speakers that we've had on so far, and we still have a number of people to play their videos. And it really speaks volumes about us and the platform and our approach to being able to give people that platform to share their experiences and to explain what is possible on the other side of tragedy or difficulty. And not everybody has tragedy or difficulty or anything else, but just to be human, just to love other people, whether you've been through the mill or your life has been as smooth sailing as could be. I think that it's important for us all to realize that no matter our story, no matter our position, no matter what we do or where we've been or how big or how small our cross is to bear, the fact that we are all people, and really that's what unites us. Things shouldn't separate us. Things shouldn't keep us separated. We should be unified and united in our approach to a much better world. So let's move on to the next video. I did mention at the beginning that there was likely to be some technical difficulties. Like I said earlier, I'm still sat here in Africa, operating off my small laptop with many things magnified, and life is not that difficult, not that easy to manipulate videos and play them on the fly from such a small laptop screen with such bad eyes. So please forgive me as we go through, but majority of the videos seem to be playing well. We seem to have some good comments I've heard in the comments. And unfortunately, again, I can't actually share those because I can't see them on this small laptop. Perhaps after the next video, Supriya, you want to just recap on a few of the comments that we've had? Some of the people
Yes,
who are there.
Yes, Matt, before you introduce the next speaker, let me go through all lovable comments which are just showering like a thunderstorm, like a thunderbolt. You can see anything. I mean, there are a lot of comments. Even I couldn't expect this much will come. Oh, God. From Lydia, from LinkedIn user, from Ami, and so on. I mean, if I'll start reading, it will take an hour to read all this. So thank you so much, global audience, for loving us, cheering us, and always being with us and always showering your love in the form of lovely comments. So that really elates us, that really motivates us. And Matt, before I stop cherishing, I stop, just loving all these comments. Let's listen our next speaker, because I'm so excited about who all are our next speaker and even my global audience too. So without any delay, without any pause, let's go with our next speaker. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So this is a gentleman that I've never met. He's a friend of yours, I believe, and Dr. Anuja. His name is Dr. Kimbugwe, if I'm saying that correctly. So here is your wonderful sister, my wonderful colleague, our family, our friend, Anuja.
Hi, here is the video by Dr. Kimbugwe from Uganda, which considers that home is not a place where we live, but it's the place where people understand us. So let's create some miracles and change the world. Here is the video.
Brothers and sisters, we have individual families. The individual families is also a way of being homeless. The sudden and gradual loss of one's home can be a stressor of sufficient severity to produce symptoms of psychological trauma. Everyone on the street, people whom you see and you think that they are homeless, that means that they are going into that problem of psychological trauma. The condition of shelter, life may produce trauma symptoms.
More technical issues. I'm not entirely sure what's happened with that video or with the other two so far.
Exactly.
But
Man,
we will.
yes, we do believe that we do have great personalities, but yes, we are on virtual platform. We should not forget this, and technical glitches are a part of it. So let's move on. Let's move on with the flow. And our next speaker, who is he or she? I'm so excited to know that, Matt. Kindly just enlighten us.
Okay, so I'm hoping that this one works because this is a dear friend of mine, a lady from Canada. She is a consummate professional. In fact, she used and redid some of our KGC stock elements to influence her video that she made for us. Her name is Rochelle, and she is a wonderful dear friend of ours. She'll soon be on the Latte Show, I believe. And yeah, what a wonderful, inspiring lady with an amazing story to share about being unhoused. Over the short, maybe couple of years that I've been doing this, I've had the real privilege of knowing some amazing people. And this is one of the people that I've known, not the longest, but for some considerable length of time in my illustrious career. This is my dear friend, Rochelle, and she's a podcast host in her own right. Much like everybody else, many of these videos were recorded for Las Vegas in June, and we've had to put a hold on them until now for different reasons. Here's Rochelle sharing her experience of life, love, happiness, and believing in miracles. Take it away, Rochelle.
Hi everyone in Las Vegas. My name is Rochelle Harlington, and I'm very honored to be speaking here at this amazing forum in Las Vegas. And I want to say a huge shout out to Matt Allen and this wonderful organization, Kudos International. So Matt asked me to come on and share a little bit about what I do. And I would just like to say that what Matt is doing and how he is sharing his message for humanity, you are the miracle, is incredible. And it is all about being in service to others and building that community. But 17 years ago, I left a very abusive relationship and I had my own place, but I ended up quitting my job for many different reasons. Unfortunately, I realized about probably 2 hours after I did it that I suddenly had no income. Now I had a place to live, but I had no food. And I began to panic. I had no money. I had enough to probably get me through a couple of weeks. Well, after that couple of weeks, I started to get very nervous. How was I going to find food? How was I going to get money? I was trying to look for another job. And I was worried, if I didn't pay my rent, then I would become homeless with 2 small children. My beautiful friend Donna at the time had won $100 at bingo, and she had said, here, take this $100, buy yourself groceries for the week for the kids, and figure something out. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that, because that gave me the inspiration to keep going, because I had lost hope. As we got closer to Christmas that year, I realized that I would have nothing under the tree for my kids at that time, and I was terrified. I felt really terrible as a mother, that I'd failed. And having to walk up those steps of the St. John's Mission to ask for food for Christmas was very humbling. And I'll never forget that either. Those memories stick so strong in my memory because they've taught me to be humble to many people, to treat everyone as if they were part of my community, part of my family. And the message that I share with you today is that my podcast was built on sharing inspirational stories because somebody out there needs to hear this story. Somebody out there needs to know that they can take that next step. That confident word that you share with them through your message gives them inspiration to maybe make a change. Maybe they're stuck somewhere and they hear that story. This is why I say the empowerment of your story leads to the trajectory of your life. How you share your story, how you move through your life is up to you. We all have that choice. I've spoken on many different podcasts. Wait a minute, why am I comparing myself? Why am I doing it this way? Yeah. This isn't going to serve me in a positive way. Then you are already miles ahead of anybody else.
Yeah, so I agree. The big A word, awareness.
Caught up in, well, it has to always be this way because, sometimes we get really comfortable in stuff, and we don't want to change. But I feel that because of the way I grew up, I was easy adaptable to different changes, different scenarios. So when things didn't always work out, the one thing I always taught my children was, okay, let's try a different path. Let's try a different way of doing something in order to get better results.
You know, from this, we can all collaborate more. And I think together we can achieve better. What about you, Rochelle? What is one of the things you've been learning through all of this?
I think for me, like Emma said, though, it's the partnership, but it's being present with each other. It's also honoring each other's time. And I know Emma and I both have had moments where we kind of drop the ball, and then we have been able to come back and say, you know what, you were right. I should have done this. I should have moved through this. I am going to honor that. I've shared this story going through everything I did as a single mom with 2 kids, but I never gave up hope. And I always chose something that could support me. Maybe that was because I had 2 small kids and I had the responsibility. I don't know, but I know that I never gave up. And I feel amazingly honored to be here to share this story, because I don't share it with too many people. But I wanted to share it because, as I said at the beginning, it has made me humble. And when I meet people, I meet them for who they are. I see their soul. I see how beautiful they are. And if they want to share their story, then I share it on my platform. So I hope that this forum is as amazing as I know it will be. And I send my love and blessings to everyone there. Thank you, Matt Allen. Thank you, Kudos International.
Congratulations, the miracle, the transformational soul. And you really helped us in believing that winners don't do different things, they do things differently. And when you will think different in a different manner, you have to go in a different path. And that path will definitely 100% leads you with a lot of success, with a lot of accolades. Isn't it, Matt? What an inspiring video by Rachel. I really became an ardent fan of her. Isn't it?
Yeah, Rochelle has been a wonderful friend for quite some length of time now. And really, I think what you're talking about is change. We need change. And if we're going to change a couple of things, if we're going to do things slightly differently, if we're just going to slightly reinvent the wheel, maybe put a few extra spokes on, or take a couple of extra spokes off, or put different tread on the wheel. That's not really reinventing the wheel, is it? Basically, I think that time has come for real change in the world. We sort of alluded to this a little bit earlier on when we were talking about the change that is needed for people who are unhoused, homeless people all around the world. Massive change, big change, not just a couple of small things that have been done in the past, but real change that makes real difference to everybody on the planet. And that really is what we're here to celebrate from our point of view, not just the videos and the experiences of these amazing people, individuals and a group of wonderful friends who have given their videos and their times and their experience and their wonderful insights, but also a solution that really does solve the biggest problems in the world. We at Kudos Miracles, we believe in changing the world. We believe that people really want change and people really need change, and that is called demand. And we have the solutions to supply that. We need partners, collaborators, advisors, and investors to be able to make these things happen. Some of the people that we've seen so far today and others that we'll see soon, they believe in what we represent and what we can provide as solutions for the world and the biggest problems in it. In fact, all of the big problems in our world. I think there's time for change, and change is not just changing one or two small things. It's about changing everything, making the world a much better place where people truly benefit, where we can really know that people are the solution, not the problem, where we acknowledge that people are the miracle and we hold the answers to all of our problems. Because those powerful people, those people at the top of that crisis tree, they forget who they are here to serve and who really has put them to the top of that crisis tree. It is people, and people power trumps powerful people every single time. Talking about that just briefly about housing and solving the housing crisis, not just homelessness, but the entire housing crisis, to be able to change that marketplace, which is so big and vast, that we can actually make that into something entirely different. Currently in the UK, the housing market is described as a housing ladder, and that ladder is basically a position of number of rungs on the ladder where people start off at the bottom, and through saving or help from their friends or the family or whatever support they can get, working hard at a job that they might have, that enables them to take that first step up on the rung of that housing ladder. And then they proceed to either rent a property that they've put down the deposit for and some agent fees and maybe a few bits of furniture, or they manage to save enough money for putting down as a deposit for a house and pay the legal fees and again some furniture and things like that they need, maybe some tax for the government if they're well off enough. And then those people progress up those different rungs of the ladder to get to the top where they eventually own their property or own a number of properties. That's called the housing ladder. And that housing ladder is very difficult and slippery for people nowadays, especially the unhoused people who can't afford a deposit, who don't have a credit history to be able to get up onto the first rung, can't even afford the legal fees or the agency fees, or don't even have some sticks of furniture to put in their first home or their next home. Now, we understand how to change that. We know how to make that different from a housing ladder and make that into a housing escalator, one that helps, supports, and regenerates some of what happens in the housing ladder, so that then it actually helps the people, those that need it most, to be able to get on at ground zero without those things that are required currently, to be able to help them to develop those things, a deposit, some financial standing, some help, some support, a job, various things that they need to be able to afford a property and to own the property and to succeed financially in life, amongst other things that we can build into that model. And that really is the solution that we provide. I can't explain the full workings of that because it's proprietary to us and our organization. But trust me, many people have validated and verified what we aim to do, and a number of people have expressed interest in making that happen and are on board with pushing forwards and making that a reality for the world. And I do mean the world. I don't mean just some people in a small village somewhere. I mean a community that is everybody in the world, to have the possibility of real change, not just in housing, but in so many other ways. Because if we're going to change, we can't just change one thing. We need to change everything. And we have the solutions to those problems. We realize that people are the solution, and that every one of our solutions is driven by people, all people benefiting. So anyway, enough of the in-shop talk. Let's get on with some videos, because that's what people are here to see.
Yeah, so many people are waiting to hear our next speaker. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So why don't you introduce Anita? You know Anita better than I do.
Oh my gosh, my Dr. Anita C. Powell She's really a very great personality, tap into your movement and NLC empowerment. International speaker, author, and a very great dear friend of mine. So let's hear Dr. Anita C. Powell, and I'm so much excited to hear her insightful views. This video, which you are going to view, the further one, is of a Dr. Anita C. Powell from United States. And in this video, she's going to highlight the importance of being homelessness, how they are suffering, what they are eating, the importance of home, shelter, and needs. So let's give our ear to hear her. Here she is.
Hello, everybody. I'm Anita, and it's my honor and pleasure to be here on this International Kudos platform. And I want to thank Miracles Matt, Dr. Supriya, and Dr. Anuja for this wonderful opportunity to share my message on homelessness. Well, what I did is I wanted to look at the local, the state, then the country, and then the world to see. And what I found out, I saw that today, currently in the Detroit metropolitan area where I live, there are currently 8,500 people that are homeless. In Michigan, the homeless situation increased by 8% from 2021 to 2022, and it went from 30,113 to 32,589. Now, the reason it's stated in the Michigan homeless population information, the reason for the increase was because of the changes in the COVID programs. You know how many of these programs, discontinued after the crisis, after there was no longer a COVID crisis. Now, in the U.S., as of 2024, there are over 500,000 people, and we're men, women, children, families, 500,000 people that face living in homeless communities. Globally, as of 2024, there are 4.5 million people that are homeless. So, this is addressing the homeless situation and reducing it. It's complex in that there are many dynamics that we need to consider as well as try to implement. Okay, so I just want to share some strategies that I found out in researching in delivering this message. And I found out, as far as like affordable housing, there is something called the housing first approach. And what this does, it puts people first and getting them into permanent housing and then providing services for them. So, this is pretty cool. I thought, okay, we're going, get them safe and with a roof over my head. If I'm homeless, put me in a safe place with a roof over my head so that I can feel comfortable, and then provide the services, because it's like the Maslow hierarchy of hierarchy of needs. The first need that we need to take care of is shelter, clothing, food, that need that we have. That's the first one before we can even think to care, self-care and self-love and taking care of family. We need that shelter first. So that's I like that as far as a strategy in affordable housing. implementing the housing first approach. Then there are strategies as far as supportive services. There's the comprehensive support services that provides, services for people with mental health issues, because a lot of our homeless community, the people in our homeless community, are suffering from mental health issues, substance abuse. Then there's job training and employment assistance, providing a strategy to provide people with education, trade, and then providing employment. They're preventive programs, and that's the discharging planning. This one helps to ensure those who are leaving the institutional setting is provided a home and a safe place to live once they are discharged, or released from prison, different things, where they are confined to a community serving a sentence or whatever. A strategy is to implement community, policy and advocate as far as always community awareness, whether it's domestic, national, international, global awareness. Societal awareness is so very powerful and important in helping to reduce anything or increase anything. It's always, the public, that collective consciousness. When we are aware and get together and think on terms that is helpful to either reduce or diminish something, that is power. That's very powerful. Economic initiatives, living wage laws. We can increase. A strategy would be to increase the living, how much we get per hour. Now, I did find out, I wanted to look at what programs were helpful or what seems to be successful. I know one, Houston, Texas, I believe it was Houston, Texas, where their strategy, their initiative really helped to reduce the homeless situation in that particular area. Community engagement, nonprofit partnerships, partnering. If you have a nonprofit, partner with another nonprofit in helping to reduce the homeless situation, and then keeping updated data and research. Now, one of the, and I want to check my time here. As far as community specific strategies, we need also to take, it's not cookie cutter. So to reduce homelessness is not a cookie cutter thing, like, okay, one idea or one plan of action is going to cover and encompass the whole homeless community in all areas and regions. That's not. We have to consider the culture, we have to consider tradition, we have to consider the climate, we have to consider the area of the location and parts of the world where, what we're addressing. Now, there was one of it that I saw that there's examples of successful programs. They said the Finland's housing first model. See, I like that first model. That really, really resonated with me. Where it says Finland has significantly reduced homelessness through its housing first approach. And that's the one where you prioritize, you put me in a safe house first, take care of that survival need first, and then provide me with various programs that I can cognizantly and emotionally resonate with and not accept, but I can digest it, if you will, because I have room now because I'm in a safe space. I'm no longer having to look for my survival. Also, Utah's chronic homeless reduction, they said Utah reduced chronic homelessness by 91% through a comprehensive housing first strategy combined with supportive services. And now what can we do? What can we do as individuals? Well, we can offer food and hygiene supplies to people that are homeless. I know with the Tap Into You movement, I'm the founder of the Tap Into You movement, and we provide gift of love kits for women who are having to escape their home to go to shelters. So we provide these kits for them. offer that. Donate clothing and donate clothing and blankets to shelters. Like here we have Detroit Rescue Mission, we have cots, we have things like that you can donate clothes, and then provide information about services. Also show empathy and respect. You know, because my situation or anyone's situation does not dictate the value of who they are and how much they're worth, because every single person on this planet, no one's more than, no one is less than anyone on this planet. Okay, so, and let's show empathy and respect. Therefore, by the grace of God goes I. And one time maybe I was, you know what I mean? So let's show empathy and respect to all people. Okay, volunteer, we can volunteer our time. Let me see, I think, and then support organizations that advocate the reduction of homelessness, and then advocate for policy change. All right, so that's my message. I just wanted to show, share some strategies, and the strategies came from endeavors.org. So you can go to endeavors, endeavors.org, and that's where they had a lot of information, valuable information. And I pray that this message served you well and added value to you. We know that the journey in self-recovery is absolutely beautiful, and I hope you know so beautiful, both he and she, so are you. All right, thank you so much for listening. I am Dr. Anita C. Powell. Blessings, peace, and love.
Great. Thanks, Dr. Anita, for always enlightening your grateful views about homelessness. And yes, home shelter needs everyone's dream. But how many of us really achieve? And we are here to fulfill everyone's dream. That's the message. That's a beautiful message what Dr. Anita has delivered today. What says Matt? What's your opinion about Dr. Anita's? It was really mind-blowing, isn't it?
It is. To be honest, I am quite a strong purporter of everybody doing as much as they can. We're in very difficult situations for so many people. Many people, almost all people in some way, shape or form need help, whether that's through something that's self-evident in the sense of they are unhoused, through to, like I mentioned earlier, about Russ being unwell, and many other people in the same situation. And many of the different systems that operate in our world that really are there to curtail our lives and to control us and exploit us in many ways. And that is why we need these realistic changes that will fundamentally make the world a better place and what people really want. I come across sometimes as somebody who doesn't believe that charity or NGOs are the way forwards. And I very much don't think that that's true. I very much support all of the endeavors that so many kind and wonderful people do to support other people. That's fundamental to life and being human, after all. But really, what I'm interested in is getting to a position where that becomes easier rather than more difficult. We've been battling with homelessness for how many thousands of years, with poverty and exploitation and slavery and various other aspects of difficulties in our society since the beginning of time almost. Now, it is surely time in 2024 to make those changes happen, where we are no longer going to provide help and support for so many people, but fewer people, because other people, those that are in need at the moment, have an option that is much more viable for community and for society and for humanity as we exist, not just in the sense of changing some of those systems, but changing our world. And not just our world, but the world of our children and their future children too. We really are at a difficult situation where we are at a choosing point, at a change in society. Whether that change is something that benefits just a few people, like I said, at the top of the crisis tree, or whether that's going to solve problems for the majority of people, potentially even all people, maybe solve world peace, to make that a real thing for everybody the world over, not just to solve the housing crisis, not just to alleviate poverty for so many people, but to actually make it so that then less people are dying. And that would be a real change, when that strikes me as something that everybody wants. Again, something that is possible through the solutions that we provide. Now, again, enough about us and what we do. Let's get on with some interesting videos from some interesting people. So the next video that we have is from a wonderful lady called Christy Emmanuel. Perhaps you would just like to, well, actually you do the introduction for Christy anyway, don't you? So let's just roll the video. Here is the video for everybody. This is the wonderful Christy, and we'll share some thoughts after she's had her say.
Now, this next video is of Christy Emmanuel from Nigeria, where she explains the concept of global homelessness through a story. And trust me, friends, this story is going to awaken everybody's senses. So why delay? Let's hear Christy Emmanuel and get some rejuvenation, get some positivity, get some homelessness problems and solutions. So let's hear.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and fellow advocates. I'm honored to be speaking at the Kudos Global Convention 2024, where we gather not just to discuss, but to act, to address one of the most pressing issues of our time, global homelessness. I'm Christy Emmanuel, and as a blockchain educator and founder of Bitcoins, I'm passionate about harnessing technology to drive social impact. Homelessness is more than just statistics. It's about real people, each with their own stories, their struggles and dreams. In the US alone, over 580,000 people are experiencing homelessness. In the UK, that number stands at 280,000. These aren't just numbers. They represent our fellow human beings who deserve a safe place to call home. But let's not forget that homelessness is a global issue affecting many countries in Africa, for instance, where an estimated 24 million people lack access to adequate housing. In South Africa, for example, there are over 14,000 homeless people living in Cape Town alone, with many more across the country. Now, let's talk about the story of Karen Gelderblom, a homeless woman in Cape Town. Her story is one of many touching stories of how homeless people suffer horrible experiences out there in the streets. Karen ended up in the streets after her husband died and could no longer afford the rent on her home. Her story highlights the dehumanizing treatment of homeless individuals by law enforcement and the need for policy reforms. She makes a statement that questions our humanity, and I quote, "Before I'm homeless, I'm first a human being." I will leave you to reflect on this. In Nigeria, where I come from, the story is not different. The homeless population is estimated to be over 24 million, with many families and children living on the streets or informal in settlements. The lack of affordable housing, urbanization, and poverty are some of the driving factors of homelessness in Nigeria. But homelessness, like I said, is not just statistics. It's a human story. It's a mother struggling to provide for her children. It's a father trying to find a job, a young person seeking a place to call home. For instance, in Somalia, there are over 2.9 million people that are homeless, with many others displaced due to conflict and natural disasters. What about Democratic Republic of Congo? Over 5.3 million people lack access to adequate housing, with many more living in informal settlements. Enter blockchain. Blockchain can help solve homelessness by providing a secure and transparent way to verify identity. Decentralized housing databases can optimize resource allocation, and tokenized incentives can encourage community engagement and support. So imagine this, a homeless individual trying to access services like shelter, healthcare, or employment opportunities. Often they lack proper identification. But what if we could provide them with a secure, tamper-proof digital identity? Blockchain makes this possible. Decentralized digital identity allow individuals to control their personal information while ensuring its security. So with a blockchain-based ID, a homeless individual can access services more easily, open bank accounts, and secure housing. It's a step towards restoring dignity and empowering them to rebuild their lives. Are there specific projects or initiatives already exploring these types of solutions, you may ask? My answer is yes. We have the Silver Linings Initiative. It's the world's first blockchain-based digital identity and marketplace solution designed specifically for those experiencing homelessness. How does it work? Through biometric authentication to securely verify an identity. Also, there is decentralized data storage solutions which ensure privacy and reliability of the process. There is also the geo-targeted resources to connect individuals to food, employment, healthcare, and education. This initiative bridges the gap between homeless populations and essential safety nets. It's not just about talking, it's about action. So in 2019, the city of Austin, Texas, launched a blockchain-based platform to connect homeless individuals to vital services, such as healthcare and housing assistance. The platform uses blockchain identifiers to safeguard the IDs and vital records of homeless people, making it easier for service providers to access important information. This innovative approach has the potential to be replicated in other cities around the world. The City of Austin's initiative is a shining example of how blockchain can be used to address homelessness by providing a secure, decentralized way to store and manage identity documents. Blockchain can help homeless people access vital services and benefits. This is a crucial step towards addressing the root causes of homelessness and providing support to those in need. So you see, blockchain is not just a technical solution. It's a symbol of hope and resilience. It shows us that even in the darkest moments, there's always a way forward. I will not end this speech without sharing a bit of my story and why I am passionate about the many good humanity can enjoy through blockchain technology. So my own journey began as a struggling school teacher. I stumbled on blockchain in 2017, and I was so fascinated about its potential. But I also faced my own setbacks, a significant loss due to a misguided investment. Yet, I didn't give up. I continued to learn about blockchain's transformative power. And along the way, I realized that other women faced similar challenges like I did. Few resources tailored to our needs, limited mentorship, and doubts about our abilities. That's when I founded BitQueens. At BitQueens, our mission is simple: to educate, support, and empower women through blockchain education. We provide resources, mentorship, and a safe space for women to learn, to grow, and thrive in the blockchain space. Why do we do this, you may ask? Because we believe blockchain can create a more equitable society, one where financial inclusion is not a privilege, but a right. And today, we're lending our voice and joining in the movement to empowering women to become financially included and help support their families to have a place to call home. Finally, as we gather here today, I urge you to remember that homelessness is not just the statistics. It's a human story. It's a mother struggling to provide for her children, a father trying to find a job, a young person seeking a safe place to call home. So let's work together to create a world where everyone has a safe place to call home, a world where blockchain is not just a technology, but a tool for social change. I call upon policymakers, technologists, and social workers to join forces and explore blockchain-based solutions for homelessness. Let us harness the power of technology to provide secure identity verification, efficient resource allocation, and community-driven support. Everyone, I mean everyone, deserves a roof over their heads, warmth in their hearts, and hope for a better future. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we can rewrite the script and create a more equitable society. Together, we can be the silver lining, using blockchain not just for profit, but for purpose. Thank you for listening. Once again, I'm Christy Emmanuel. I'm a blockchain educator and the founder of Bitcoins, and it was my pleasure to be here to share with you. Thank you.
Wonderful, Christy. When you said together we can do miracles, together we can bring a lot of positive change, and yes, we are doing. And I really loved when you narrated the very great topic, homelessness, through a story which has given me a lot of positive goosebumps, you know, so much excitement, so much emotions, and so much inspiration. And your blockchain technology, which says about homelessness is not about statistics, it's about connecting people and solutions. So hats off to you, Christy. Well, I don't have any hats, but still, go on, move on, and keep rocking. What is your opinion, Mr. Matt Allen? This really great topic, and it's going fabulous. Yes.
Yeah, as you know, I very much like blockchain and a lot of different things and possibilities that it represents for the future for mankind. Not in the sense of necessarily cryptocurrencies, which is what most people think of when we talk about blockchains, but very clear advantageous systems, a bit like Christy was talking about, such as silver lining. There are many ways that blockchain can be used to facilitate a better society. I'm not saying that it's the only answer, but it's certainly part of a number of solutions that can be leveraged to make change in the world. Sadly, there is not enough change happening currently, and as you know, there are ways that we can move that forwards potentially with what we aim to do. But again, I start talking about what we're doing. Christy is an amazing human being, making real impact in the world through educating women, something that we are very keen to do as well. Much like we talked about just earlier about Kudos Education and some of our new friends, especially some of those here in Africa, very interesting opportunities coming forwards. And as we progress and seek to deliver the answers that we hold for society, part of that is education. Part of that is enabling people to understand so much more about the world that we live in, whether that be finance through to ecology and environmentalism, through to the way that the systems work and how to better facilitate us as human beings to move forwards into a world that is driven by love and peace and happiness rather than what happens currently. You and I in particular, and many of the other team members, we have all spent a lot of time talking about such endeavors and how we think that the future should look and what we think that is possible. And then we step a further step to imagine what miracles can happen. And then we realize that people are the solutions that make those miracles happen, because people are the miracle, right? Now, together, we stand strong, and we are all wonderful and unique and brilliant and beautiful, much like somebody, I believe, commented about you in the comments earlier about how beautiful you look. Nobody says that about me anymore, if ever. Anyway, on to some
are
other.
beautiful from inside, Matt, and you are beautiful from inside,
Oh, yeah.
outside, and doing miracles for the world. And that's the great beauty, because beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder, and the best beauty is when you serve humanity and society. So that's the great definition of beauty. That's what I believe, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. And I think the most beautiful thing, and something that unifies us all realistically, is love. Here is the next video from Arno St. Paul. Here's Melissa as well to introduce him and why love is a relevant thing for his talk. This one's a little bit longer, so please relax and take your time to listen, learn about what he's sharing with us, and maybe take a break and grab a coffee if you can still listen and watch whilst you're doing that. Here we go.
Really excited to introduce the next speaker. You're about to hear from someone who is all about leading with heart, quite literally. You know, we often hear about leadership strategies and business approaches, but today we're diving into something deeper, something that comes from within. Arno St. Paul, the founder of the Heart Economy movement, is on a mission to help 1 billion people open their hearts and tap into their own heart's intelligence. Yeah, we are talking about heart-centered leadership that goes beyond profits and focuses on creating a more harmonious world for all of us. Sounds amazing, right? He's about to take us on a journey that explores the power of empathy, integrity, and coherence, and how that can transform us, not just businesses, but also our daily lives. So sit back, open your hearts, pun intended, and get ready to hear how we can all lead with purpose and compassion. Let's jump right in with Arno.
Hello, my name is Arno St. Paul. I'm the founder of the Heart Economy movement, and today I'm here to talk about my life passion, which is to help 1 billion people to open their heart to themselves, to tap into their own heart's intelligence. And together, I know we can do it. So let's dive deeper into this amazing community movement that we are sharing a little bit the same ethos with Kudos Miracle, called the Heart Economy movement. See you in a second. So here we are. Let's talk about the Heart Economy movement and how it is empowering leaders with more empathy, more integrity, more coherence within themselves and therefore throughout, and where they can create with life instead of against it, against the different challenges. No, we can do it with the support and the nurturing of our day-to-day life. So let's dive deeper into that. We have in the past decades started to come into what we call today the heart-based economy. It's a huge shift. It's a tidal wave that is taking place, and that is unfolding before our own eyes. It started 25 years ago with the impact investment movement, and it's steadily growing since the past 5 years ago. And it became more of a reality when the B Corp movement emerged in the US, where businesses were invited to look more positively to impact. And then, more globally, the UN instated the Sustainable Development Goals of the UN, a global movement for global sustainability, really thinking about how we can put impact as a more important aspect, right? And nowadays, post-COVID, we are indeed in a new normal where businesses can no longer operate the way they used to. Now it is more important to have an impact than making profits. And actually, this type of company perform a lot better. We all know that now, and that's why you're here today. Two luminaries in that segment, Patagonia, everybody knows about it. This other company here, Naos, which is in cosmetics, has as a core value the intelligence of the heart, and we believe that the amazing results they have is thanks to that as well. The heart economy is a movement. It's a movement which has a very simple vision. Following our heart compass, together we envision, create, and live a harmonious world for all. That's the invitation we have here, where together we can care about the conscious movement of global leaders catalyzing a heart-connected world. And we look to empower people, communities, and economies to experience and to apply heart-led principles sustainably. That's the invitation, and I believe that all of us can do it, that all of us, we can individually practice and then see the impact it has collectively very quickly. Our values, so that you know a little bit more about us. Well, first, we love our world, who we are, and we are aligned on our purposeful mission and collective vision to positively contribute back to the world. We are pragmatically evolving together, and this is very important, as compassionate and authentic leaders invested in each other's restorative well-being. We are heart ever learners, encouraging each other to grow. We are caring, united in making the world heart conscious. We are inclusive, creating a sense of belonging for all. We are courageous, and we drive change through empathy and heart collaboration, generating impactful contributions, increasing value returns and social prosperity. These are our values. And our principles, well, guided by the 7 principles of heart-based leadership, which are presence, inner peace, dharma, inner joy, non-attachment, selflessness, and unity. We'll see them down the road. We enable entrepreneurs, leaders, and organizations to recognize, nurture, and harness the power of their heart. So, how does that sound for you? We believe that there is a dire need for heart leaders. Today's challenges and dynamics, whether business-wise, environmental, social, etc., makes it so that it calls for our deepest intelligence and wisdom that we all have access to, but sometimes we let go of it, we forget about it. So this is the invitation for everyone. What's the difference between a heart leader and a conventional leader, you would say? Well, a conventional leader usually drives blind, he's rattled by obstacles, operating on autopilot. Survival is the default mode. And usually there is some emotional triggers and lack of clarity. A heartful leader actually lights up its path. Changes are met with ease. Growth is experienced day by day. Inspiration comes naturally. And simplicity now abounds. and also is lived every day, every moment, a grounded vision. What does that mean? It means that actually, individually and collectively, not only do we have more success, but also much more impact. And so it means, according to our experience, that when we tap into our heart's intelligence, we open the door to all the vision and dreams we have, we hold dear, and it happens faster and faster. So the 7 pillars of heart leadership, as I mentioned earlier, are presence, inner peace, dharma, inner joy, non-attachment, selflessness, and unity. We're going to revisit them a bit later, but I wanted to share with you a big picture here. These are the ones that we believe characterize a heart leader and shows how deep that person is on that path or on that journey towards herself, towards her own heart. And if when we practice all these different principles or pillars, we are better humans, better leaders of our own lives and working with the teams we have around us. And I believe that a leader with more presence, with more inner peace, with a living purpose, dharma, with more inner joy and not too attached to stories and identifications, and lives in unity, will always be more fulfilled, but more importantly, have a much bigger impact on his environment or hers. So as a movement, we are opening chapters across the world. We started in New York, and we have dedicated council members laying the foundation of the global movement. The next step will be London, and then probably Dubai, and so on and so forth. As for me, I am on this path of leading through my heart since the past, 40 years. And it is my life journey and purpose to help other people on that path. We are obviously also creating a research project with top universities in the US around to prove and show that heart leadership is the way to go. And as you can see in this preliminary data, we see, for instance, that inner peace is one of the main issues that people have today. So if we can help them just on that aspect, it would be amazing, isn't it? Together, we are practicing in heart chambers at the Heart Economy. A heart chamber is like a cohort, and actually practicing a life-changing method that I have put in place after 30 years of research. Our leaders train together and engage in community events. They get support, they get workshops, and they practice daily with their peers. They practice how can they lead and live through their heart, putting the mind a bit aside for the moment and use it as a tool and not as an overpowering aspect of themselves. And every day they learn how to live life as a constant miracle. And it is so. But we have to open to that. And therefore, more impact and more success comes on its own. So I'm going to use the next minutes to dive a little bit deeper into the pillars. It won't be as thorough as I would like it to, because we're a bit short in time, but at least something that hopefully will spark your interest. And then from there, you can always go to our website, hearteconomy.org, and dive deeper and explore. So presence is being in a state where one is fully present, observant, and not judgmental of their thoughts, feelings, events, actions, in each moment. What are the benefits out of that? Well, not only do you improve your focus, but better decision making, better stress handling, lead to better life and work outcomes, obviously, right? And you can enter into more tips. By the way, if you want to have this access to this presentation, please let us know and we'll send it over. So a few tips: non-judgmental awareness, awareness of inner states, thoughtful response are 3 tactics or techniques that you can use. The thoughtful response is just to pause and reflect prior to, in front of when faced with a challenging situation, you just pause for a moment and breathe, and therefore feel what is the next step, right? So instead of being a reaction, it becomes an action. Instead of being on autopilot, you are just becoming aware and conscious of what should be said or done at that time. Inner peace is about maintaining a state of tranquility and harmony within oneself, regardless of external circumstances. The obvious benefits are calmness, enhanced resilience, very important, and a stable foundation for lasting change. And as you could expect, more calm under stress, an inner harmony and balance and resilience starts to show in your day-to-day life. Inner joy is being in a state where joy is found not in the absence of suffering, but in compassionate engagement with the world's challenge. It comes from within, out in the outer world. So it's not triggered by something, it is really a feeling of joy, unconditional joy. Benefits are higher job or life satisfaction, more creativity, positive work environment, positive life environment in general, and much more than that, obviously, because then you open up to life as a miracle, as I was mentioning earlier. Dharma is very interesting because it gives us a sense of purpose. It comes from Buddhism and it's called living purpose, living in alignment with one's unique purpose. Mine is to help people open their heart. Moral duty or path in life, fostering a sense of fulfillment and direction. So the benefits are living one's true purpose, fulfillment, full alignment between personal and professional life. And this is very important, and I wish it to anyone, maybe to dive deeper, realize, remember what is your Dharma, and then live it to the fullest. Non-attachment is achieving a state when one embraces the impermanence of nature of life, that flow, that constant flow, refraining from clinging to people, outcomes, possessions, stories, past stories, future expectations, allowing for better flow with life's natural rhythms. So being conscious and aware of the ongoing flow of life. The benefits are clearer thinking, better risk management, reduced fear of failure, and fosters a growth mindset. It's an amazing place to be in as soon as we are able to release the fear of disidentification. Selflessness is not too far from that. It's cultivating a state of egolessness where we let go of any identification to past stories, and the needs and well-beings of others are prioritized, recognized, seeing the shared humanity in everyone. All of a sudden we feel inner calm, we improve teamwork and leadership skills, and it feels more collaborative and innovative, and you get innovative outcomes. Why? Because everything feels lighter. You're not so much invested in the outcome that you want, but you are more trusting that everything will flow according to your vision. And that's a key component for a heart leader. The last one is unity, recognizing and living with the awareness of the inherent unity of all beings and the universe, fostering humility, empathy, and a compassionate worldview. In other words, it's living within you, having the experience that everything is part of you, where that I that we are all so proud of changes its definition and includes and encompasses everyone around you. So obviously it fosters more trust, a more inclusive culture, enhances relationships and team performance. So all these pillars are really helping us, guiding us towards a more fulfilled, successful, and impactful life, whether at work or personally. So the invitation here, and if you want to implement that in your company, please reach out to us and we'll be happy to help you on that journey. And there is an assessment, by the way, that you can take related to this to get your Heart Leadership's DNA on hearteconomy.org. So here's a little tidbit or anecdote that you may find interesting. On the right, you have the heart with a big H, but we're looking at it from a physical / electromagnetic viewpoint. And on the left, you have the brain. And something that has been measured in the last few years is the proportion of the electromagnetic field between our hearts, our physical hearts, and our physical brain. And you may not know that, but there is a huge difference. See that little dot? That's the proportion between one and the other. The heart's electromagnetic field is 5,000 times more powerful than the brain. So that relationship between the dot here and this heart. You can imagine the potential we have when we start to listen to our heart. It's humongous. So here again is the invitation to maybe open the door to a new way of leading your life and your company so that we can live all together the miracle of being humans, but also in a world that is more and more welcoming around us. So thank you. Thank you for listening. Question is, what if we all tap into the intelligence of our heart? That society would be amazing. So let's do it together. And please join us at hearteconomy.org. We'll be very happy to work with you and see how we can guide you into a more miraculous life. Thank you, Kudos. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you for a great thing, and the heart economy movement, which you told in a very lucid manner, that was really, really commendable and appreciable. Your vision, mission, and principles were just fabulous, and I wish you all the best in attaining and accomplishing them. And how to live life as constant miracles, that was amazingly fantabulous. So no words for this. It was super awesome.
Yeah, I love everything about heart economy. What can I say? A life lived through leaders who are inspired by their heart rather than just their brain, to live a life that benefits everybody else as well as themselves. What more could be more fundamentally true than Kudos and the miracles that we envisage and endeavor to bring to the world. So talking of miracles, it's time to add another one of our team members into the chat space here. Here is Melissa. Hi, Melissa.
Hey.
How you doing?
I am doing great. Thank you. How are you?
I'm very good. So you've been in the comments and exchanging comments with people as we've been going through and listening to some of the speakers. Well, hopefully all of the speakers. But any comments from you about where we're at so far? We've still got a few videos left, but what are your thoughts?
We have some left, but I think we have some time tomorrow, and I think people are kind of starting to wind down a little bit now. But wow, just the outpouring in the comments of love and support, and everyone's really paying attention to what everyone else is saying, and it's just so beautiful. We're all taking everything into heart and to tackle this issue. Bravo for getting us all together, throwing such a great event, where like I said, we all get together and this is how things get done. We get together, we share our thoughts, we brainstorm, and bigger things come of that. So it's a beautiful thing. And I wanted to mention, because earlier I think you had said something, I don't remember, but what I always say is we're all in this together. So wherever people are on the spectrum of homelessness, global issues, this and that, is we are all, at the end of the day, we're all humans, we're all people, and love is really the engine that keeps us going, should keep us going, because we definitely have more in common than we do different. So in that, one globe at a time, let's help out the homeless or the unhoused, and keep going through the globes and keep making everything everywhere, keep making it a better place. So thank you. Thank you, everybody. And thank you. And Supriya, you're amazing. And thank you, Matt.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay, so we're just going to play 2 more videos. I think this evening we have time to do that. We'll squeeze them in. We might overrun a little bit of the 3 hours that we'd hoped to do, but we'll get them played and out of the way. We'll run them, and then I'll just give a brief overview of what I think about the evening and bringing all the videos together. Supriya, would you like to introduce Mihail?
Wow, it's my honor to introduce Mihail Stanciu from Romania. And yes, he's a great personality. When I talk about Mihail, he's doing wonderful job in his I3New organizing committee as a global conference organizer, speaker, writer, and a great student at the university. So let's hear Mihail and let's see what is our insightful views on global homelessness. Go for it. This video, which is a great personality, Mihail Stanciu from Romania, the beautiful country, he has beautifully described the importance, the virtues, the calibers, and most important, how we can tackle the problems of homelessness, what strategies we can make, and how we can move further with the world and help people in building up their homes, giving their shelter, and at last bringing a smile on their face. So let's watch this and let's get inspired.
Hello everyone, I'm Mihail Alexandru Stanescu. I'm studying engineering, computer science engineering at University Politehnica of Bucharest from Romania. And first of all, I want to thanks for the invitation to be a speaker at this amazing conference organized by Kudos Global. Today, I understand we should have a short discuss topic about some real solution to resolving homelessness. To be honest, this type of problem is visible, I think, in every country. Also in Romania, it can be a problem. And also in some more developed country like USA, like India, like France or Germany, it is a problem. First of all, I think to think about the solutions about this topic is to think and to try to ask to the next question why it's happening for a person to become homeless. If you want to study deep, we can observe that homeless people are around the biggest city areas. For example, I'm living in the capital. When I walk in some main focus point in the capital Bucharest, you can discover some homeless person. Or also we can see homeless persons during the night. It is like a stereotypical joke that sometimes it is too dangerous to walk on the street during the night because you can find some bad persons which are the homeless. But in my opinion, if you try to see deep the meaning why are they homeless outside, it can be the next idea. Maybe some of them are outside because they lost their home, they lost their family, or maybe it happened something about their mental health and they become homeless. And to be honest, nowadays we are living some not good times to live, let's say, because it was the pandemic period where taxes were a rise, where the living become a little bit harder. Now, if we try to see global, we have a lot of international conflicts. You know, in Ukraine with the war with Russians, in Palestine in the war with Israelis, with some conflicts in Africa, with some internal conflicts in some countries in the South America, and the list can go more and more. And yes, from this we can see that always the taxes are a rise, and people who are not so lucky to have some savings will arrive to be outside and to become homeless. Also, one more thing, I specified the stereotype during the night. So I think they appear during the night because they during the day maybe they try to survive. They try to take some money to try to find something to eat, or maybe try to find something to work. And during the night, they try to sleep. They try to forget what's happened with his life today in comparison with the past, and try, as I say, the most important word to survive. So, using this hypothesis that homeless guys, the majority maybe are there because they were unlucky, we can try to find some real solutions. And as I mentioned, the causes, maybe they don't have a home. So starting from here, uh, thank you to Mr. Matt Allen, who is the founder and one of the main CEO of the Kudos International. I think if people who have some big savings and some international institutions can help to build some houses to give this type of persons. But the idea is, okay, maybe they will have that type of house, but what happen if it will happen again to arrive outside? So I think also another solution is to have some psychological discussion with them to discover how is their psychical healthcare level, to see how it can be improved and how they can change the better way. Because I think the majority part of time as a homeless, it's affect a lot the psychical way. And for this, I think some discussions with specialists in mental discussion, it will be very good. And not the least, I think maybe can be something about the management. For example, in Romania, if I will think a little bit previously in the communist time, it was an interesting quote. It was something like, who will work, who, who, sorry, who will work, they will have always savings. So in my opinion, I think for homeless people, okay, who are good and strong to work, maybe to offer some jobs. It can be a good solution for them. Okay, I will give you a house, something like that. But also I will give you something to work, to take some savings. Because in my opinion, it's not only I will give you something for today. It's something like I'll give you something for today, but also I will teach you how to keep it. And to keep it today, unfortunately, it's always about the money. So one more solution it can be maybe some management part about how we can integrate homeless person in society and maybe how to make them to be good workers. And it will be like a win-win contract because I will make a good thing that I will set the homeless guy to have a house, to have a job, but also it will help me maybe if I'm a CEO of a company. And one more thing, because we are talking about working, I think in the mind of the homeless, it is the idea that, okay, I'm living outside, I try to survive, and that's all. But if they are working, I think that will make their mind to be more and more productive and try to have new perspective, which I think it can help them a lot. So this is my speech about this topic. I hope I point in a good manners all of these ideas. And thank you for this invitation. And I hope to be amazing things, all of these which are organized by Kudos. And good luck to everyone, and good luck also for the people who really need the help. Thank you very much, and good luck to all from Romania.
Thank you, Mihail, for such a great speech. And yes, I can say only one thing after listening to you. Let your help, let your support, let your generosity be the kindness to make a homeless person believe that a soul needs something more than just four walls and a ceiling, and that will be miracles. So, ladies and gentlemen, keep creating miracles, keep believing in yourself, and yes, we all are miracles. So let's create miracles. Yes, Matt, you are there to say and add beauty to my statement. So go on and go on.
Not at all. You say things that I could never imagine how to say so eloquently, and I just throw a few words together at the end of a sentence and hope that they make sense. Usually they do to some extent, but at least that's in my brain. So we are drawing to the close. It's been just over 3 hours, and by the time that we play this next video, and then a few words from me, just pulling things together, like I say, then we'll draw this to a close for people and celebrate the speakers that we've had. There were a number of other videos that we've had given to us over the months. Unfortunately, it's not possible for us to do such a massive event that we would have loved to have done. Part of the problem, of course, is that I'm here in Africa and potentially here until the 3rd of October, which I was not planning upon. Don't get me wrong, that's not a bad thing. It gives me some time to maybe do things that I hadn't had time to finish doing whilst I was here. But that probably means more to some people than to others. Everything in my life is miraculous and an opportunity. And I'm very thankful for everything that happens, including this conference and the ones before it, all of the team that supports us so much, and our new team members as we continue to grow and blossom. In fact, this next video, the final one that we're going to play this evening, is from a young lady called Rashmi from there in India, a good friend of our colleague Anuja, friend, family, team member. And we're just going to let Rashmi talk, and then, like I say, I'll finish off with a few words from me. Supriya, you say goodbye to everybody, and then I'll just finish off after Rashmi finished her video.
Yes, and ladies and gentlemen, before I say a great goodbye, I will say only one thing. 3 hours spent, and I didn't feel a bit of laziness, a bit of giddiness, all because of yours love, yours power, your inspiration. So thank you so much for being with us, and thank you so much for showering your blessings, and thank you so much for believing in us and making this KGC3 again a successful event. So thank you so much from the bottom core of my heart, and see you again in some powerful events. Till then, stay healthy, happy, and a very lovely goodbye and namaste from India. Thank you so much. I think we have lost Matt. So I think nobody don't want me to say goodbye. So let's talk some more and wait for Matt to come over again and take the lead. And he was about to introduce our last speaker, but not the least, Rashmi Srivastava, she's a great host. She's a great, a person, edible oil consultant, and a tech consultant. And I think Matt is here to introduce her. So finally, a lovely goodbye. And Matt, please take over the lead. Bye-bye, everyone.
Sorry, another slight technical hitch. Here is Rashmi, and I'll be back in just one moment.
Hi, here is the video by Rashmi Srivastava from India, giving thoughts to homelessness, where action should be taken, otherwise it will slip from our hands. Let's create some miracles and change the world. Here is the video.
According to me, it all starts with an idea. If you give it a thought, you will definitely come out of that problem. And that victory is not only yours, it is for everybody. I don't know how many people will get the benefits of, maybe your ideas. Just imagine, just one idea can make a difference. You don't need to support people only financially. You need to talk to them. You need to include them in your community. We have to treat people like humans, as they are. And hence, we need to talk to them. We need to figure out things. And I'm sure when you talk about your problems, when you talk about, getting together, you're speaking about the strength. And definitely that has a good results in front of you. At times you feel that, there are so many people who stay on streets. They don't have food to eat. They don't have clothes to wear. And we at home waste food. We sometimes waste, or maybe criticize, you can say, not waste exactly, but we kind of criticize what we already have. Unfortunately, the same thing people are dying to have, yet they can't. In one way, you can say that we don't value what we have, but the other one who does not has it values it. So we need to talk. We need to come forward. We may not be able to help people only with money, but definitely with mindset. And we can do it if we decide. It could be any issues, any problems, any things, in this world. Same can be dealt only by talking to each other. Letting people know by the people is a very important thing that in today's generation we hardly see, because we're just not worried about, we just worried about ourselves. What I am supposed to get, what is my target. We need to think about the society too. And this podium, the chance that I've got to speak about is to convey this message to everybody, to take this very, very seriously, because maybe, you never know. This can be you or me someday, sometime. So give it a thought before it takes over. Thanks. Bye.
So, Rashmi, and give it a thought before it takes over. Some of what I wanted to talk about this evening, I've not come out too blatantly and said. Much of the world is in difficult situations at the moment, not the least my country, and certainly not the most trouble. The world has so many problems nowadays caused by so few people, instigating so many troubles in people's hearts, minds, souls, the way that we think about our brothers and sisters, all of humanity, and how we aim to protect and look after ourselves, as well as endeavor to do the best for our loved ones, our friends, our families, our communities, humanity, society, whatever you want to look at that as. Kudos Global Conference is a platform that is used to tell people's stories, their truths, their experiences, and to share how they feel. But it's a reflection of what we as society feel and think, and what our truths are. We've talked some data, we've looked at some philosophy. We've talked about heart. We've talked about unity and community and belonging. We've talked about solutions. We talked about how we aim to change the world. I mentioned about we are at the choice, crossroads, if you like. And one avenue that we can go down is to continue as we are, to do the things that we are told are inevitable, whether that is AI telling us in the future about who we should vote for, through to losing our jobs due to that very entity, through to legislation and control that makes it difficult for us to say what our truths are. Many of those things are set about taking us down a road that leads ultimately to our demise, about taking away from humanity and making the world a smaller place, filled with less love and more control. We've also talked about blockchain and opportunities and change, and being able to make the world a better place, filled with love and people, and making real change in our communities to help those that are less favored than ourselves, and really to help everybody as much as what we can. That is, after all, what being human is about the love that we have for one another and for ourselves. We've discussed all of these things at length. Many of my friends, our friends, if you're watching, you know some, if not many, if not all, or maybe you don't know any of our speakers, but you're here because you wanted to listen and see what they were talking about. And I thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts, from our hearts to yours, for being here and paying attention and sharing this event. Recently it was my birthday and we held another event, and there was much singing and joy and fun. There was also an opportunity to reflect on some of the things that we are aiming to do, and many of the people there were jubilant about the opportunity that lies before us and support me in many different ways. The future extends into who knows when. Who knows whether that is short or long. Who knows whether it's all over in the blink of an eye after I finish saying this word, or 10 words later, or 10 years later. But the powers that be are set on us having wars and being exploited and controlling us far more than what we could ever imagine. It is now that we need to take time to change the world. And I hope that we can do that together, as we discussed in some of the videos too. Because together we are stronger. Because together we can be unified in unity of people working together to make the world a better place, so that then we can all benefit, so that then we know that we are the miracle, because we are the solution, and we will make the world a better place through us all. Thank you very much for any time that you've spent watching any of these videos. I hope that they've been inspirational, insightful, or at least entertaining. But at the very least, I hope that they've helped to solidify that maybe you are not the only person who thinks the way that you do. In all of my discussions with many, many people over the few years that I've been doing this, I've realized that there are so many of us that feel the same way and have felt the same way for some considerable length of time. It's time for change. It's what people demand. It's what we can supply. And in the middle, there is business to be done and benefit to be felt for all. So, thank you very much, and we look forward to a much brighter future where all of us benefit. This is me saying goodbye, and I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Take care, and I hope that you enjoyed the Kudos Global Conference number 3.